Oh, welcome to the first greatest podcast in the world. I am Khord Kitty, and here we got a nice, wonderful British cast. Yes, that's right. This is the first podcast with all British people, all people from England. So it's going to be a nice, wonderful crumpets and tea we'll all enjoy. Okay, so in reverse alphabetical order, we have Zirk Dragon, Skunk Mantra, Shy Gryphon, I'm Khord Kitty, and Blue the Fox, and Azzy Lizard. What a wonderful cast we have. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Zirk Dragon, tell us about yourself. These are a bunch of strangers listening to you. They won't judge you. Just, who are you, Mr. Scaly?
All right, well, just off the topic, well, I am a mixologist. That is my trade. As well as that, I very much enjoy fashion. I've been in the furry fandom for coming up to about 8 years now. And I do actually happen to be 18, which is rather young, but yeah.
So, okay, so you're a young mixologist. You're 18 and you know how to mix alcoholic stuff?
Yes. Yes, I do.
What is the age that you can drink alcohol in England?
18.
Which is, yeah, so that's interesting because obviously I'm in America and we have a cutoff at 21, so... hopefully this is a very educational episode. I want everyone to just spit a bunch of random facts about England, and people will listen to go like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And they're gonna want to visit more. This might increase tourism. This one episode, you never know.
Maybe.
All right, Skunk Mantra, tell us about yourself.
Hello, everybody. Well, a lot of people know me under Skunk Mantra, Eva, or Fox Techno, or Dust Bunny as well. And a brand new fursuit persona, the Sun Dream, I got at Confuzzled this year. But also been known online since 2003 as Fox Techno, which is my music name. And I've been making music since 1998. And I've been a furry since 2008. When I first started liking Star Fox and Klonoa and all that sort of stuff in the internet back then. A lot of people know me by YouTube and Facebook and FA and a lot of other places. But yeah, I'm all over the internet at the moment.
Very nice. And what does that mean, mantra? Or mantra? Mantra? I keep saying mantra because that's a real word, but mantra, that's a new one.
Mantra. So I've got my Skunk Mantra and my old Fox Mantra name was from a chill out trance CD, which has down-tempo dance and chilled music onto it. And it's like one of those blokes that sit there and have their arms above their head and crossed and the eyes closed, and it's just like going into a dream or relaxation, if that makes sense. So it was like a mantra person. I think trying to explain it is a bit hard. But
oh no, trust me. If you're living in America, it's hard to get into that position because you're everyone's working all the time and getting paid nothing, pretty much. Well, I don't know if that's true, but
that's where that name came from.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, now Shy Gryphon, tell us about yourself.
Hello, yeah, I'm Shy. I'm just I'm 29 years of age. I've been in the fandom for, since I think 2000 now, actually. Since 2000, I've been in the fandom. Sadly, I can't work, so I'm just a small-time Twitch streamer, really. Just play any game I can properly come up with.
Okay, no, so and my name is Khord Kitty. I am the only one here who's not from England, but I do have some ancestors with some connections to England, but kind of ancestors that left in about 1880 and then never looked back. And yes, I can't do a very good British accent, but you never know. Maybe I'll impress everyone. We'll see. So I'm in California. I'm a very happy kitty. I like to do dance type stuff, music composition, play piano, sing, all that fun jazz. So this is episode 50 of the podcast. I'm so happy I got this far. This is great. I started this podcast about 9 years ago. A lot of people have gotten some enjoyment out of it, and I'm glad for that. Next up, we got Blue the Fox. Tell us about yourself.
Hello there, I'm Blue. I make music, I make software, I go to college, I exist, I have applied for work, and I'm currently waiting to get a reply from an interview. I'm just waiting around currently and vibing in life.
So, Blue, what do you like to use to make your music?
I like to use either a laptop or desktop, and the software I use is Ableton Live, the Serum, the instrument, the Roland Juno 60 VST instrument, because I don't have $3,000 laying around to pay for a real life Juno 60. They're bloody expensive, and no matter where you find them. A virtual D50, because again, expensive. I want to say something about college is there's college and then there's university. University you have to pay for. But college, it's free for the first few years until you're 19.
And then they charge you, and then you gotta fork out the payment, which is kind of kind of brutal.
That's
It's like
what happens.
if you spent your whole life at school. I mean, I know there's some people who are like, oh yeah, I went to college and then I had 3 jobs. I'm like, that's impossible. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I don't get it. It's crazy. Well, okay, Azzy, tell us about yourself.
Alrighty. So, also a scaly. Started with 1, finished with 1. Nice list. 28 IT help desk analysts. I help lots of people who are challenged by technology across my business to do all sorts of things. I also like to garden in my spare time, not that I have a great deal of spare time, and to cook kick-ass food.
Now, of that garden, is it all food that you eat, or are we talking like, that other type of garden, a little bit of recreational?
Alas, this is the UK. That's not legal yet, so you know what? Stick to your Californian ways, fam, but we're not there yet. So the most interesting plant that I grow is an orange plant. I accidentally left some orange seeds on the kitchen counter 6 years ago, and then one of them lived, so now it's in the garden, and I have to bring it in every winter just to stop it from dying from frost. It's great.
So so pot is illegal in England. I did not know this.
There are the beginnings of some medicinal arguments for people in need, people with pain conditions, and for the alternative of extracting the CBD oil to use just without the psychoactive effects. But it's still illegal for recreational use.
Yeah, CBD is legal here, but the THC portion of weed is still illegal.
The fun part is no.
Yeah. We get no fun here. No fun here. Fun is banned.
I mean, yes, it's probably banned, but I feel really sorry. There's that one Olympian, I think that's in Russia right now, and they were caught with, I think, CBD oil or something along those lines, and now they're going to be facing a hefty jail sentence. So, England might have some restrictions, but at least you're not Russia.
Yeah, no thank you. I couldn't picture being arrested for something as trivial as pain relief.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be brutal. All right, so let's get to my topic first. So my topic is Biggest Little Fur Con. This is an incredible furry con that happens in Nevada. I know a little far from you guys, but the coolest thing about it is not only is it big and has a lot, like all the restaurants and stuff are in the same building, but it's at a casino. So if you are a gambler, you could gamble there. They have this go-kart thing. You could go around a circle for free 1 billion times. They have this thing that could strap you up. You could be in fursuit or out of fursuit, and then they swing you above this highway, way above it's incredible. So if, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite fur con of the West Coast. So if you're visiting from England, visiting from around the world, highly recommend it. BLFC, Biggest Little Fur Con, taking place at a Nevada resort. Very, very good time. The last time I was there, I had so much fun. It was a real joy, and I just want to, sing its praises because there's not a lot of fur cons that have all these fun little perks going on. So that's what I got to say about BLFC. Biggest Little Fur Con. Yeah, I know no one could really talk about it because no one's been there. I know this is a fully British accent, but I know a lot of you could probably.
A couple questions.
You guys have probably been to Confuzzled. I know that's the one England furry con I remember. Is that you guys recommend Confuzzled? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I've been Confuzzled for over 7 years now. So yeah, I recommend Confuzzled.
No, I don't want to get any of you banned, but is there any fun drama with like the chairman or the people who have led Confuzzled? No drama. I am disappointed.
Not this year.
Yeah,
with
I've heard a couple
COVID,
stories, but
it
I
was
can't say over
impossible
this.
for drama to be shared for the last couple of years.
That's so funny. So you've heard drama, but you don't want to tell anyone. It's too secret. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to start drama. I love it.
No, not really. I don't want to.
I completely understand. But if you know drama from, I don't know, some random furry con in Switzerland, like, oh yeah, you can get the dirt on that. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know one of the main chairheadmans. The second one, he's a big lion. That's all I'm saying. But yeah.
Ooh, juicy. Ooh, boy, wait, I need to get some popcorn to pop. But okay, yeah. But
drop names.
now
I do know of a bit of drama surrounding it. Actually,
yeah, you just don't want to name any names.
yeah.
You see. Here's the thing. I'm the host, and I'm a cat. So do the logic. When it comes to curiosity, I'm like, oh yeah, tell me more. But I know I don't want to get you guys in trouble. Obviously, that's not my agenda.
Yeah, and I often burn down entire villages. Like, I live by the dragon. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I don't get the joke. Do you get the joke? I don't get it.
You don't get it? No, like, dragons destroy like cities and like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, species humor.
That makes sense.
Is it a boy Alice in the kitchen?
But, Skunk, do you ever like to make jokes about like, yeah, I stink?
Maybe.
It wouldn't be that
Remember,
funny, I guess.
the skunk don't stink until it wants to stink, and then it's only like the stink attack that stinks.
Or so if someone absolutely completely pisses me off, but yeah.
Now, when I think when I think Confuzzled, I remember this video of this fursuiter named Beauty and the Beat, and I think this person had
Beauty and the Bass.
Beauty and the Bass, so they had a speaker system in their fursuit, and I just remember thinking, oh my god, that is both creative and expensive and amazing all at the same time. Does anyone have any?
And she made it herself.
If I may, one of the people who went to the dancing competition this year had a suit that, although they weren't a very good dancer, the suit itself responded to the beat of the music and lit up in all sorts of ways. That was quite fun to watch.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I'm the type where I love. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of a competition one of my favorite parts of a convention is the fursuit dance competition, because it gives people who aren't professional dancers an opportunity to go like, okay, well, I'm just going to wiggle for you guys and you clap. And I like that. I like that concept.
Participation award is a real thing. It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is someone on YouTube will be like, this doesn't look very professional. Even though I can't do any better, I'm just going to say this person's stupid and sucks. Yeah, because obviously that's half of YouTube, basically.
That's YouTube in general, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Massively.
The biggest people
Well, if
who
you
like...
something, you hit the thumbs up, you say nothing, and you move on at best. If you dislike something, you leave a remark in great detail.
and always the people who are the biggest critics are the ones that have like 5 Let's Play videos that are like to get 5 views. It's like, like, okay.
Yeah, you're very critical, but it's not doing you any viewership.
Yeah, it's fun to throw tomatoes, but it takes a long time to grow tomatoes and really harvest them,
Yeah, of course.
That's why people throw rotten tomatoes. Easy.
So on the subject of food or something that can be consumed, Zirk Dragon, I really want to learn about your profession, because obviously you have the profession which will make you very popular at a FurCon, because that's the one thing that furries love, and that's free alcohol. And free alcohol is in every room party, in every FurCon I know about, and people want to go to the mixologist or whatever they call it. They want to go to the bartender. They want to go to the person who knows how to mix those drinks. So tell me about your expertise.
Okay, well, it's basically a glorified bartender. If I'm being completely honest. It seems like really complicated. Like, oh yeah, you've got to make cocktails, and it's like, oh, you've got to know how it works. But it really isn't. I wouldn't say that deep, but I don't know if that would be something you understood. It's not really that big of a deal to me anyway. I learned.
If it's not that big of a deal, can you walk us through one of your classics? Come on, give us some tips, fam.
Okay, that's all right. I mean, I enjoy making the zombie a lot. The zombie is really fun to make. I will tell you exactly what is in that. Like, as a traditional one, of course, like in a zombie cocktail, you're looking at like very fruity actually. It's fruity, it contains rum. Yeah, it's also apricot. Yeah, it's honestly a really good thing. Of course, as well, it's served poured over ice or on the rocks. It's never usually served shaken. Like it's not really, it's got to be with ice because it brings out the flavor of the actual drink itself. Because you don't want like a warm juice if you get what I mean.
Of course
Say,
not. It's manky.
yeah, like a warm orange juice. That would be. I mean, it's not orange.
Can I tell you about a little experiment that I had in mixology? So, in my opinion, all beers are inedible. They're just piss. I hate all of them. But
I agree.
there was a time where. So
Right.
I don't know what you call it, but there's these little tiny packets that you could get in American supermarkets that they're kind of water flavoring thing. They have like aspartame. You put a thing in your water, and boom, your water changes color and it's flavored. Do you have that in England?
I mean, we have cordial, and there's this concentrated one you can get where it's like this little squirty bottle, squirt it in, and bam, flavor.
It's a little bit like that.
That.
It's a little bit like that, and there's like a powdered version of it in America. But what I did is I grabbed a bottle of, had some beer, mixed it in with this sweetener thing, and suddenly this beer was nice and fruity. And I think I feel like I invented something great. But you're a mixologist. You'll be able to tell me if I'm full of BS and this has already been invented. But when I had a bunch of people around me, they were like, "Oh, this is so great! Whoa, you could hardly tell it's alcohol." And like, I thought I made a super genius discovery. But Zirk, do you know, has this already been made? This aspartame?
Technically, it has.
Okay. What would you call this aspartame beer combination?
I don't know whether
Poisonous.
aspartame would be but I'm not sure that it would be aspartame. But we do have something like very, very similar to that. We have like fruity beer that's like very sweet.
Well, the question is, do we have a sugar-free version? Because the aspartame is known because it's a sugar alternative.
That's right.
Do we have
Yeah,
something
that's
that's
very true.
like a sweetener?
It's like stevia.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have sweeteners. Do you mean like a natural sweetener or like?
I couldn't picture just getting my sweetener cap and just popping 3 inside of my beer. There.
No, I don't like beer, but I mean, I don't know too much about beer. Mostly my knowledge ends at cocktails, but I know a little bit. I know that Indian Pale Ale is like very easily adapted into something fruitful. But honestly, I mean, I don't think that actual thing has been invented, but I'm sure similar things will have been.
Now, this sounds sexist, but I've heard that fruity drinks are like girly drinks. Now, is that sexist stereotype true? Is there anything feminine about having?
This is true, but this doesn't stop boys from having their toys.
Yes.
They'll have them anyway.
Because that is the only type of drink that I could kind of enjoy a bit. The only type of alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite alcoholic drinks I have consumed, and I never drink alcohol, is there was some strawberry wine, and it was lovely. It was so good.
I'm drinking hooch at the moment.
Hooch. Oh,
At the moment, I'm thinking of getting my rum out now because you're talking about alcohol.
that's what I should have done. I should have just gotten a podcast of drunk people the whole time. That could make a seriously fun thing, right? I mean, that's what Uncle Kage does. He's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna drink during this, and we'll see what happens. I'm like, yeah.
Uncle Kage just drinks a lot of wine during his podcast, so yeah, that's true.
I talked with this one person, and he was all like, "Oh, all drunk people, they're all violent drunks." It's like, no, there's only some are playful drunks. It's possible.
About 1 in 5 people are violent, and then 1 in 5 people are like super fun.
I mean, I find people always like to talk to me better when I'm drunk. That's just because I don't have to worry. I always worry about like thinking about just random things like eye contact and just my speech patterns and am I being boring? And then when I put the alcohol, it's like, oh, who cares? Boom! I just suddenly say socially inappropriate things and people are entertained.
Yeah, I mean, going back to your thing about fruity drinks being like feminine. I really like the sort of fruity drinks. Like I'm very much a fan of sort of like a martini, so on and so forth. But I mean, I'm not a woman.
A martini
as
is
far
a
as I know.
masculine drink. You can say that. That's fair enough.
I mean,
There's some cocktails that can count, but not
I
many.
suppose, yeah, but I mean, it depends what kind of martini. Like I'm talking like I don't know. Usually I go with something like fruity martini. But I don't know. Like in general, I'd
Copperberg.
say.
Copperberg's quite fruity, though, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, but it's not a cocktail.
It's not a cocktail, no, but still a fruity drink.
So,
It is
Zirk,
very
If
fruity.
Pebble and Seven drinks it, it's fine. That means martinis are on the table for men's men.
now Zirk, is your main goal to be a bartender or to own your own? I know you don't call it a bar. I think you guys call it a pub. I don't know what's the English word for a bar, pub, alcoholic beverage place.
Yeah. All right, let me explain this to you. Essentially, a bar is something that sells alcohol predominantly, but also sells food sometimes, maybe, not all the time. And a pub is sort of the place you go with your family, you have a nice meal out. They do sell alcohol, but it's more just like for the food, and it's a lot more.
It's a rounded experience meant for everyone, not just for adults.
Ah, that makes sense.
That's like the best way I could. Thank you.
Though if you do have a lock-in on a late evening in a pub, you're sorted.
Very good. When I think pub, I think just like an Irish open mic with people eating by the side and some people drinking alcohol. That's what I visualize when I think of it.
It's a lot of places like that. But you've also got your sort of like big budget, like crazy places. Like I do actually think about owning a bar. I feel like that'd be really cool. And if I was to own a bar, I would call it Glitch Hop, and it would be really futuristically themed. It would cost a lot, but it would definitely get like the talk.
One thing that angers me about bars, how do they expect it to be a social atmosphere when you can't hear anything because the music's too loud? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the music's there.
They want you to nod at people and drink more. They don't particularly care if you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's just they want you to be stimulated with the sounds, and they want you to spend money on the alcohol. They don't care if you could hear the person you're talking to. They don't care about that, do they?
Yeah, often get
you can either hit on someone or you can buy them a drink. If they take away the option to hit on them, what can you do but buy more drinks?
Oh, so you think maybe the music is a way to kind of stop like some sort of primal courtship ritual.
Social dynamic, yeah.
Interesting.
100%.
For me, I just like okay, so music composition graduate. I am so critical about music. When I hear music, I can't concentrate on the conversation. I keep on trying to analyze the music, and I'm very critical. If it's country, then suddenly I get so uncomfortable. I just have to get out of the location as soon as possible. So that's why I just dislike that. I never go to the bar. I don't think I've ever gone to the bar by myself in my life. Because I can't stand that atmosphere where someone else's crappy music is playing super loud.
Yeah,
and I can't move.
Just like you're stood exactly like right next to your friend. You're like, "Do you want another drink?" Like really loud.
What do you say?
And they wonder why texting and instant messaging is more popular in bars than it ever has been.
Another reason that people tend to put music in bars is that trance music is actually known to increase the body temperature and will make you want to drink more, and that's why trance music plays a lot in bars.
I'd have to find that study. I'm skeptical about everything I hear now, but that might check out.
Yeah,
I probably won't be visiting bars anytime in the near future, but I will tell you, Zirk, you have a lot of potential in this fandom. If you're a mixologist, let's just say that you've got a lot of fun drinks you could name now. I mean, that happens at every furry con. Like they just change the names. Like it's like a Circle Sippy or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to pretend that I know anything about the subject.
That sounds like a good drink. Circle Sippy. You should make
remember the names at Confuzzle 2019. Oh god, some of the rude ones on that.
Gosh.
a Circle sipper, a skunk sap of smell. I don't know.
Sap.
You're the mixologist. You gotta come up with these, and it's gonna be, your business will depend upon how quirky and fun you can make your original drinks, right?
I think one of them was called Naughty Juice. I think it was in 2019. Ugh,
naughty juice. On the topic of juice. Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a TV show. Or no, it's a streaming show? I don't know. Azzy, tell me something. I don't know anything about Stranger Things. I just know everyone's talking about it. I haven't seen it in a single episode.
Alrighty, well, I guess you'd call it a Netflix thing, if you wanted to call it a specific thing. So they've already had a couple of seasons, some of which were worse than others. First season was great. The current season that's come out, you get to see all your favorite characters again, except they're all meant to be 1 or 2 years older, and they're all adults, so it's kind of disjointed, thanks to the way things have been. Their shooting took a very long time.
Now,
but aside from that, wow, Hellfire Club, the first episode's D&D based, my favorite.
Now, you would say that Stranger Things, I mean, did it debut some new unknown actors, and then now they're household names because of Stranger Things?
Literally, yes. The first episodes that the few main characters appeared on, they were getting hundreds or thousands per episode. Now they're commanding hundreds of thousands per episode. They went from 3-figure contracts to 6-figure contracts. So much growth.
And even though I might not watch Stranger Things in the future, I could say that I feel good for stuff like I who doesn't love the success story of someone starting out in a career they hit the jackpot, they're in the right place at the right time, and then that launches their career into the stratosphere. Doesn't that make you just feel all fuzzy on the inside?
You mean like jealous and bitter? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no.
Why weren't they me? My life is mediocre. I have to put up with the fact that these people didn't even know what suffering was. Wow.
Oh, okay. So you're more the jealous type. Okay, well.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. Don't get me wrong, of course. But yeah, I'm absolutely jealous.
Look,
I would love to have been a part of something as easy as that.
Does it help at all when these actors inevitably get some sort of a horrible controversy or terrible drug problem, and they go up the ladder and boom, fall down as far as they shot up? Does that at least give you some fuzzy feeling inside?
I know it's a contradiction, but no. I'd rather see them continue to succeed and become productive somehow, where they step away from TV when they're finished and just go on to do things that are helpful for communities.
But you hate seeing their success because you're jealous of it.
Yeah, I think, where did I slip through the net? I was entertaining once.
Azzy, I'll get you in touch with some. We'll get you an agent. We'll start your star today, and you'll be the next big character on Stranger Things. Just you wait.
Wonderful. They don't know what'll hit them. Suffice to say, though, there were a few good scenes in the first episode. It flashes back to some of the old stuff, gives shout-outs to the previous seasons. Starts off with gore, as you'd expect, messy, but introduced some new characters, some new club, all exciting stuff. I'd recommend a watch.
Does anyone have any negative opinions about Stranger Things? Now, this sounds weird, but whenever someone tells me an opinion, any opinion at all, immediately I want to hear the exact opposite, just to get some fair, to get a fair shot at the whole picture, because maybe there's something you don't like about Stranger Things you're not telling us because you want us to watch it so bad. That's what I want to know.
We're not in it, so that's another thing. We're not in it, so
everyone here is a fan of Stranger Things except for me.
I actually am not a fan of Stranger Things.
What's your view of it? Have you seen an episode?
I've actually seen the first 3 seasons.
The third season was bad. I agree with that.
Yes.
If that's what you're saying, that's fine, because it was trash. But the first 2 were okay.
The first season was a bit slow to getting into certain things. I give you that one. It was slow.
Okay, now for me, I like to see characters that I could empathize with, like just a character who is who just has a goal, who wants to go somewhere, but also just kind of feels like people around them are sometimes acting stupid. So what character would I be able to latch onto with this philosophy, with this idea? Convince me to watch Stranger Things.
Well, if you want a character that is surrounded by people they don't understand, then you'd just go for 11. Like, the psychic girl is literally unrelatable to other people because she has abilities that they can't understand and has been tortured to perfect those abilities.
Okay, and that's...
But she kicks ass.
So that's on season 1, 2, 3, 4?
Okay, season 1, they're introduced. You see them come from a background where they haven't really been taught how good English. They've not been taught how to interact with people. All they've had in their life up to that point was pressure to perform the psychic ability, pressure to become a tool for nefarious purposes.
No.
Ultimately, what they wanted them to do was to assassinate people with their mind powers. So that's all they're good for.
Okay, so yeah, so of course, I don't know anything about the show at all. So you're saying that this is a little bit like the X-Men school, where they have a bunch of people with special powers, except the secret government agency wants to use them to assassinate people. Is that the plot?
Yeah. Ultimately, that's kind of half of what they did in the first season with the victims, with the special children. But there was only one special child who survived, at least that we knew of. And the story focuses on how events that they were involved in sort of affected an innocent hideaway town that could otherwise have been ordinary.
All right, so let's change the topic to the next topic. So this is a lot of people have been croaking. We just recently had the assassination of the former premier of Japan very recently, and also the death of the Yu-Gi-Oh creator Shy. I've never seen a single episode of Yu-Gi-Oh. Can you tell me a bit about
Yu-Gi-Oh? Kazuki was the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! The comic, and that the games and the animation and movie and stuff like what came after the comic. So all the games and the animation and stuff like that was based on the comic of Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a big shock to millions of people to hear that he actually passed away while snorkeling. Well, he was off the coast of Japan, and on the 6th, he probably found dead, snorkeling in the water.
What a boring way to go. I hope he saw something pretty cool and he's like, wow, that's so cool, I'm choking. Wait a minute, I'm dead. Whoops.
I'm not too sure about how he died, but what I think it might have been like a heart attack or something. He was 60 years of age, so
that's kind of young.
Quite old. For being in Japan and stuff like that, yeah, that's quite young. But they can last. They can last for a while. They're quite country that can last up to like 100 years old or more.
Now,
yeah, they're pretty good.
So I saw. We know it was some sort of snorkeling accident. I got to be honest. I've never done snorkeling, but I know it involves something to do with a little tube and there's like some air in it. I guess.
With snorkeling itself, you can actually stay up on the top part of the water, so the little tube sticking out of the water, you can breathe in through there. And sometimes you can.
So you're just sitting on the surface, but your face is underneath, so you got a vision of what's below. But
some people have to go down and do it as well. But a lot of times you can actually stay on the top part of the water.
Scuba diving's way better. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Scuba diving the one with the tanks.
But I could imagine somebody passing away from scuba diving. It's like you're really, really far down. Your tank maybe fails or something, and then or maybe the oxygen.
Well, I got stuck under the ocean once. That was pretty fun.
But how could you die from snorkeling? I don't understand, because you're right above you're right near. You're under the surface, right? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it was just a shock, to be honest. So I don't know what happened.
Like you said, if it was a cardiac event, they might have just taken in water accidentally during the cardiac event and then drowned like that.
That could be done. Yeah. You never know how it happened. It was a big shock to everybody, really. I think
someone played a trap card on him, honestly.
Hey, that's a good one, but no, that's bad. But that's good. That's bad.
Fun side thing. I'm just going to say the weird thing about Yu-Gi-Oh taking off is that the comic was actually based on multiple games, not just the card game. They just realized at some point that it could be a money spinner, and then it was. But the original King of Games was just good at all games, and also a very brutal person.
Kazuki was borderline evil. A god to making a comic, and then everything exploded from the comic itself.
Now, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! The series, but it has something to do with cards, right? I think there's
Yes,
some
those cards.
cards and just very big spiky hair. That's a big part, I think.
Yugimoto.
The
Yu-Gi-Oh!
cards are what made the money. And then
The cards,
once that
yeah.
happened, they started making contracts exclusively to focus on the card game, and the story changed accordingly.
I've been in tournaments and stuff like that. I've still got Yu-Gi-Oh cards myself. I've got
There's
a full
still
deck.
tournaments run to this day, and
Yeah,
there
I've
will
still
be
got-
for a long time, yeah.
You guys are both in England, so you will play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! To remember this icon, right?
Oh yes, quite a few people I've been talking to as well. They've been doing a load of videos on YouTube, streamed on Twitch, streamed on Facebook, and stuff like that. All playing the Yu-Gi-Oh game just for memory of Kazuki.
Sounds good. All right, now let's move on to the next topic. Okay, let's talk about Boris Johnson. So,
Oh god.
so okay, you have to
here we go.
understand. I know none of you want to talk about him, about how he just resigned, but guess what? I'm in America. All I see is this picture of this big, inflated, irritated-looking person who looks disheveled and blonde, and he always looks miserable. The headlines are miserable, and he has some sort of connection with. I think he went to power because of Brexit, and I think Brexit, that whole thing.
That was a dicey topic all of its own, for sure.
My first impression of Brexit was it was because of racism. People didn't want the brown refugees from Syria to come into their country, and they didn't like the EU telling them how many refugees to have. So their racism motivated Brexit. That's what my first impression is, and so that's why.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Boris Johnson,
yeah.
and then he was basically the racist leader, and then he apparently was ugly and fat, and they wanted to get rid of him because he was stupid and everyone hated him. So that was my personal impression, I'm coming from a place of ignorance. So educate me about Boris Johnson.
I mean, he is ugly.
And also educate
I'll
me.
let someone have a stab, and then I'll throw in some remarks.
And I'm curious if I'm wrong. Am I wrong about Brexit? Am I wrong about Boris?
You're half right, you're half right. But
The funny
the
thing is
other half
about
is
Boris,
fiction.
the Boris was actually born in America.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little problem.
So if somebody was born in England, they can't be president of the United States, but someone born in America could be the leader of England. Huh.
Yeah, potentially. Okay,
Extreme.
so quick thing. We weren't afraid of brown people. We were afraid of Eastern Europeans because they're productive, they're good at what they do, and they're prepared to work for low wages or towards the minimum wage of the country, which meant that they were, by coming here, bringing down the average wage that self-entitled British people expected to get. So they were kind of curbing the net gain for the common folk, which is where the Brexit kind of racism comes from. More the economic damage that they were doing by being better at the jobs that we don't want to do.
Now,
Ironically.
Now, it's crazy that you say this because that sounds identical to the racism that America has for Mexicans, you know?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because they're more agreeable and like more willing to do the jobs that typically people don't want to do, they drag wage prices down, and that's where the racism comes from.
Wow. Incredible. That sounds identical to the racism against Mexicans. That's incredible. I would have never known that. So but that's just your perspective. Obviously, this is a very complicated issue. There might be someone here that disagrees with you.
Yeah,
I'm
I still
sure that
believe
everyone has their own motives.
I still believe when Theresa May was Prime Minister, I still believe that lot kicked her out so they can get in. Still, that's my saying of it, because they wanted to get in power and made all that allegations and all that sort of stuff to try and kick her out to make them go in. And now look all the shit he's done.
I mean, was she slandered on her way out, or was she sort of caught in a kind of a tough position? Because I felt that the reason her tenure went to an end was just because she couldn't maintain a majority inside the Houses of Parliament. She just wasn't charismatic enough. It's not that she was bad; she was just boring.
Well, she was doing it much better than Boris was, and I think they just wanted to kick her out because
sensible for the
all the
best
people
part,
in the parliament
but
wanted
just a
to do
bit
it.
wayward.
Yeah, so he was speaking at the same time then.
Well, I'm actually an anarchist. Like, politics to me, it's dumb. I actually don't agree with politics at all. I find it very just whatever we end up with is going to be trash. I think that we should become a country instead of relying on one leader and being herded. We have the money now to be able to just not be, I suppose, enslaved. I mean, it's kind of the word I'd use to describe it because I mean, it kind of is. Like, they control everything.
If it helps, I mean, think about it. The Prime Minister may be the Prime Minister, but they don't really have any power. It's the 600 people from across the country that we pick that have the power.
Yes, but even then, though, I just don't like any sort of political thing. I find it like really abhorrent most of the time. It's a lot of classism. It's a lot of just being sort of brutal about certain things, sort of like definitely, as you said before, racism. There's a lot of racism in tourism. Even with just like MPs and stuff like that, there's a lot of racist MPs. It's noticeable even. Like,
What is an MP? I keep hearing that around. MP?
oh, okay. It's a member of parliament. It's short for member of parliament. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know. You see, this is why I have you guys here. You're going to educate me. Because, I mean, when it comes to just an American life, like, us Americans, we're in a bubble. We're in a big bubble where we think everyone's looking at our bubble, but we don't know what's outside of the bubble. We got no clue.
You know your system. You know when you're in your schools in America. You know when they teach you about other places in the world. What's that like then?
Well, all I could tell you is my American history class. We never even got to the 80s. We just got to Vietnam, and then the year you entered, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we don't have enough time. Bye-bye, guys. And that was it.
Wow.
You know, we learned about,
Okay.
like, we actually had to memorize songs that were popular in the 60s, and then we had to get that all right in the test. We had to come up with the name, like the date of birth of various people and the location. I was like, oh my God, all these little facts that were just pointless.
What the heck are they teaching you over there, man?
I don't
You
know.
just learn about altogether anything after Vietnam. You do not know anything about pretty much, unless you get taught by friends or your internet or something like that.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, whenever there's something really disturbing and crazy about American history, they don't teach you in high school because they're like, oh, well, you're little teenagers. We don't want to scare your precious little minds. And then you end up not learning about, how the White House was created by enslaved African Americans who were tortured and raped by their masters. They don't tell you that part because they're like, oh, well, you're just your little teenage people. We don't want to use any curse words here. We don't want any angry parents. We're just going to give you just a pasteurized, like, okay, here's an apple that fell on George Washington's head. It's all myths. And not all myths.
Raw with history, because even if it's bad, so like the wars and stuff, you've got to make sure that people know about it because, we need to make sure that it doesn't happen again. I honestly think that might be half the reason that you get so many extremists in your schools because, well, they're not taught properly about war. And, you've got to know all of the bad stuff as well as the good. Otherwise, you don't get a balance.
And that's the problem with the concept of being taught properly, because who pays for those textbooks? Whoever's paying for those textbooks, guess what? They've got an agenda. They have a place they want you to vote, and finding a completely objective fact is becoming harder and harder, really, because obviously everyone's got an agenda. Everyone wants to mold the next generation's mind. So I could understand why anyone would be anarchist if it's like whoever's in power, it's safe to not trust them. I think that's perfectly healthy.
Yeah, I don't trust anyone in power. I think they're all controlling us and causing faults. Even I would go so far to say that they're not telling us some things about COVID. Like, I'm not saying that it's not real, but I definitely think they're hiding information.
All the politicians think they're better than everybody else in the country. That's what I think of it.
Yeah, and actually they're all like, they kind of look like someone who sound quiche, most of them. And,
Okay, two quick things. COVID is real. People I know have died. So I'll just burst that bubble.
I think we all agree. We all agree that. I think that's
yeah, it's real, but I think that there's some things they're not telling us about it.
Well, they just didn't care. That's why 128,000 people died. It's just
Yeah,
because
that
they
too.
didn't react very quickly, and they couldn't have cared less what happened.
What they're trying
They
to
have a
hide
thought.
is that the moon. It's the Martians. The Martians brought COVID over from Mars,
I
and
thought it was the Nazis on the back of the movie.
no,
Wasn't
it's
that what the
no.
film?
They were Nazi Martians. They came and they infected Hillary Clinton, and then Hillary, she and Bill, then they infected. Well, okay, I don't want to tell you too much, or else we're going to be shut down. Then the people are going to start knocking on my door, and then suddenly, boom.
FBI open up.
Suddenly, boom, would be like, Khord Kitty's suicide was very, very sad. It totally not caused by Hillary Clinton.
Just make sure to cover up your webcam with some tape, and you'll be fine.
Oh no, it's looking at me right now. Help! I got go.
Oh, too late.
Oh no.
Does anyone have any other opinions about why? Well, actually, you know what? I don't even know why Boris Johnson's a jerk and why everyone's happy that he's gone. No one's explained that to
He
me.
sucks
Yet.
balls. He sucks actual balls.
He just messed the country up big time. Pretty much it.
Yes.
He,
Did he mess it up, or did it get messed up around him, though?
No, he definitely.
He messed it up. Remember the Partygate? Remember Partygate?
Oh yeah,
Well,
big
that
time.
was him being himself, an asshole. He's also an adulterer for multiple times and has 4 different mothers for his children, which is somehow. I mean, he was elected leader with this being known. It's so weird.
The thing of it, he's been sacked from so many old jobs because of how bad he was of a person and at that job. I still don't know how he managed to get the role of prime minister for this
Because
country.
he's likable. That's
Messed
it.
up.
That's all.
Is he?
It's money.
Is he
It's all the
likable?
money, isn't it? And then
What's his face?
it's just
Yeah.
the way
How
he
long-
just brought it into the power just by being a total idiot in public.
How long did it take him to get the COVID restrictions into it? It took him, like, everybody was getting them so much, and people were saying, come on, lock the country down. It took him forever to do it, didn't it?
Yeah,
so
I think
by the time he did it, it was all spread around anyway.
I think about 6 months or something. It took him to actually manage to shut it down.
Yeah.
At least the shutdown was proper. We didn't pull punches. I got a good wage packet while I was stuck at home. It was a few months, and I've had the greatest time of my life. I miss it.
I had to go back to retail still because I was working for supermarkets.
I
Now-
call the complete
Essential
opposite.
workers. Sucks to be them. I cannot
Yeah.
thank the NHS enough for the crap that they've had to put up with and are still
True.
putting up with. They're so under-resourced. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it's still on it
And
now,
NHS
and
is
it's
also heavily underpaid.
shooting back up
They need
again
to
now.
cut.
COVID
Yeah,
cases.
they need to cut football wages and actually pay our healthcare because people are dying.
Oh, it doesn't have to
Football
come
is
away
sport.
from football. Start with the bank. Start with the bankers.
Oh, 1 minute. Blue's back. I just realised. Hello, Blue.
Just kicking
Blue.
the ball around the field.
So, Blue, we have got a question for you. This is okay. So, Blue, the question is, what would happen if England decided to take America back?
Ooh.
It was
ooh,
mutual. Let's
ooh,
pretend it was
ooh,
mutual.
Oh, yeah. If America was taken over again by the UK, a lot of things I feel like would happen.
You're telling me.
It would most likely become the next country in the United Kingdom if we're combining it into the United Kingdom. So it would become, so the United Kingdom would not just be Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. It would also include America in that if they included it in the United Kingdom. But if they left it as a country but under England's control, that's a bit more complicated.
Yeah, like, I mean, my first impression is there would be all-out war, like, because all-out war between, so you have England who's like, okay, well, we have to ban all the guns, this is our policy, and then the Second Amendment hicks who are like, you go take it over my dead body, you know?
I'm sorry to do this to you all. I must leave because my Nando's has arrived.
Enjoy your Nando's.
That's all right.
No
Thank you
one-
so much for joining our podcast.
Enjoy your
Sorry.
cheeky Nando's.
I will.
If you
Take care.
copied and pasted UK law into the US, it would be a storm of, it would just be a few states would have people literally just camp it out and turn into independent states inside of the country. You'd have 3 or 4 places that would just become different countries inside of the country, and that would be the resolution.
It'd be wonderful
Texas
chaos.
would 100% be one of them.
Oh, for sure. Texas, yes. Texas will definitely be independent.
Although it looks like Russia wants Alaska back. You think England's gonna budge with that one?
That ain't
No,
happening.
we're going to keep it.
Probably not.
We're keeping it. That's great.
Did you see what we did to keep the Falklands? I mean, that crappy little island's so far away, but you know what? It's ours, and we keeping it.
I believe it. All right, let's get to the special guest interview. So Skunk Mantra, you also go as Fox Techno, so you make music out of thin air, just like Blue does, which is obviously a very magical thing. Tell us more about your musical journey.
Well, I actually use a magic wand, and I'm joking. Out of thin air. Actually, started way back in '98 with just those stupid little plinky plonky keyboards you used to get as a kid. It used to have just like piano, the synthesizer, and one other sound on there, and it used to be the really cheap plinky plonky type synthesized sounds in the background with it. And then way back in '99, I had my Yamaha DJX, and I got that, and I've been making music on that since. But that's actually been sold and given to one of my friends now about a couple of months ago, because I've got brand new systems. I went through all the years of like Music 2000 on the PlayStation, MTV Music Generator, EJ software, and then finally when I got a computer, I hooked up my Korg Electribes in 2005, 2006, Electribe MX and SX. They're like a big blue and big red dance machines. We have all the knobs and buttons and the synthesizers and tweaks and stuff on it, and you can make tons of like techno, R&B, drum and bass, house, rave, anything on there. And now I use FL Studio and my Roland 707 machine to make music from about a year ago onwards.
Let me tell you something really lame. Okay, here's the lame thing. I have been using like a Yamaha keyboard, pretty much, Sibelius and Audacity since 2005, and my setup has not changed at all. And my music's always that bad. It's slow. It's super, super lo-fi.
Audacity I still use now and then just to cut songs and stuff up, but you need like a proper mixing software to do the songs properly. But a lot of my songs do actually get recorded straight from the Korgs live onto the desktop and laptop now. But back in the day, it used to be recorded by onto CDR and cassette tape.
Now, would you say that are you the person who said that you'd have to stop recording at a particular point because you are going to go on Second Life to DJ?
Yeah, I was supposed to be DJing in half an hour's time.
Which is interesting because I kind of assumed everyone moved from Second Life to VR chat, but you're saying that there's still DJ sets and a bunch of Second Lifers who just have an endless party.
Yeah, people still actually go on to the game, not as much as I used to do back in the day, like 2012, 2013 onwards. It's more like the most popular sort of 2000 times when furries are on there and normal people as well, and people going to clubs, because I've gone since 2008 onwards. I've probably gone through about 15 different Second Life clubs. So over the years,
let me tell you something. Also, let me tell you something super corny. So you said you started your journey in 1998, right?
Yeah, that was just recording stuff onto cassette tape back then.
In fact, this is a complete coincidence. Also, in 1998, I was recording my first. I recorded an a cappella song on a cassette tape. I think I was like 11 in 1998, and it was called "Together Forever." It was super corny. It's like, all I see is you and me together forever. That's all I see. It's so stupid. And then a few years later, I found this recording. I made it into notation. I harmonized it, and now I have it. It's so bad, but that's what I think about when I think about 1998. I'm like, okay, this is a terrible music that hopefully no one will ever find out about because it's so bad. But it's good. You had a keyboard then. I did not. I had a neighbor who had a keyboard, and I was always very jealous.
Indeed, yeah. Songs don't have lyrics, sadly, because can't anybody get to sing with mine, but I put like samples and stuff, they get on it, but the singing wise you don't get much.
Well, and that's the great thing about let's see, I had Adobe Audition, a lot of it. The way it works now, like I don't think there's a single singer releasing music on the top 10 charts that is not completely auto-tuned to hell. Like it's
oh god, yeah,
robots are doing more singing than actual people. That's the truth.
Dance music nowadays I'm not really into it much, because it's all like new house and dubstep and the trip hop and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not into it. I was brought up with along with like techno, trance, house, rave, old school, happy hardcore, all that sort of stuff.
Now, what we call
yeah.
Euro pop in America, what do you call?
Well, that was Europop as well, but I think it was more like it was just called dance back in the 90s and 2000s. A lot of people just used it as dance pop.
Now, I might be mistaken, but was there a person in a fursuit who joined into Eurovision?
Wasn't that this year? The two face masks guys. What's the name? I have to search for it for a second. 1 second. I can't remember the name of them now. They did the song "Give the Wolf a Banana," didn't they?
They did.
So these are real
This
furries.
intrigues me now.
Real furries, and which country did they represent?
Norway. That was it. Norway.
Wow.
Yeah, Norway.
That sounds
Yeah,
exciting.
they didn't get very far.
Well, that's
Oh,
fine.
Subwoofer it's called. Subwoofer, the group is called.
Wow. No, but that's still incredible that all of Norway would decide, okay, we're going to take these two furries. You could represent us now for a whole year. That's major. That's some serious, like, furries can start getting mainstream. That's amazing. Norway's like, okay, furries, don't screw this up. You're representing every single person in Norway. Go out there and make us proud.
Oh yeah, I'm just looked up now. I recognise that stuff. I've been told about it. But I've not seen it myself. But from the way they look, I've been told about them.
They didn't get many points in the Eurovision, about 56 or something. They got not much at all.
What's all right?
Yeah, when it comes to Eurovision, those points are basically pathetic.
Yeah, well, we nearly came first, didn't we, for once?
We nearly came first. It's Ukraine that took in front.
Those darn Ukrainians with their sympathy points just because their country's being completely massacred by a completely crazy supervillain.
Sad times ahead, but it could get even worse. But anyway,
But still,
I remember.
I think what they did with the Eurovision prize is the coolest thing anyone's ever done. They sold it for weapons to defend Ukraine. I'm like, that's perfect. That's incredible. It's the best thing you could ever do.
I remember completely going back to topic on that. I remember working in Woolworths all those years from 1999 to 2008 before it shut down completely.
What is that exactly?
I was making music. Woolworths was a retail store which used to sell music, entertainment, sweets, food, household, toys, kids things, all sorts of stuff. A bit like your closed down American shops like
Sears?
like Macy's and stuff like that. Yeah, Sears, Macy's. Yeah, did the whole lot. But
for me, I believe Sears and Macy's they sold, I think, appliances and like clothing, I think, but I don't think.
Woolworths did that as well. Yeah. Well, it's kids' clothes, but yeah.
It's like these giant department stores which sold a whole bunch of everything. I think that's what they are. I think Macy's is still around. Sears, I think that officially went into bankruptcy for sure. That
so many shops are going in the last 10 years because I watch dead malls on YouTube and videos like that where shops are completely closing and shutting down. It's just not good.
So what is the future of this Fox Techno? Like, I mean, you already released albums under this name?
I haven't released any for the last 10 years, I think. I think the last one was probably in the beginning of 2000. I've got about 3 albums on iTunes, but they're older stuff, which the last one was way back in, I can't remember, 2019, I think the last one I uploaded to any of the sites. But I didn't get very far on them. I think I was in the top 10 electronic charts on iTunes for about a week and a half, but that was it. But yeah,
it's very impressive.
But that was due to the promotion of from my old music person that put them on the old group.
Now, tell us the search terms that we would need to look up on YouTube to hear that music, because that's pretty impressive.
Well, first one is literally Fox Techno with a space in the middle. If not, just search for Skunk Mantra, which will come up my profile, and then it go through my songs in amongst all my other weird videos of like thunderstorms, lightning, and furries.
But this particular hit that got on the top 10, what was the name of that particular one? It was
the album, wasn't the hit. It was. Let me a second.
It's a whole album. What was the name of the album?
Let's have a look. I'm just going to see if I can get it very quickly.
And then after that, I'll try to give a bit of plug for Blue the Fox. Obviously, it seems not fair that we have a special guest who's a songwriter, and then we have Blue the Fox.
I'm looking for
side.
When I said about Woolworths, because it didn't get very far. I got halfway through that bit, and I couldn't believe what the topic I was saying. Because I used to work in Woolworths. I used to work on the music desk, the entertainment desk. and I got told off a couple of times because I brought my own music in and put it in the stereo.
It's so funny.
So it was playing around the whole shop floor, my own music, and I got told off for doing that. Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say earlier on.
That's a good promotional thing right there.
The first album I put up was 2008, 2010, 2012, and the last one was 2016. And the one, it's literally just called the Techno Fox back in 2010. So yeah. It's still on. Seems to be on iTunes now. I can see it now, right in front of me.
Now, what about you, Blue? Blue, how do we find your albums? Because obviously you're also a composer, just not as long.
Yeah. The thing is, I have so many albums now and tracks that I don't know which one I would recommend to a first-time listener.
Well, for how about this?
I wouldn't
Help.
recommend anything beyond 2019.
How about this?
Nothing
Hold on.
Nothing before 2019.
Tell the audience how we would be able to find your music just using search terms over either YouTube or Google.
The thing is, the best place where you can find my music is actually Google, and if you search up just the term Blue the Fox, I'll show up on the side as musical artist, and all my things will be in that section there. My Spotify, YouTube Music, YouTube, Deezer, everything.
Very good. All right, so the audience will purchase and consume everyone's music, and that will be nice and jolly. Now, Fox Techno, what's the plans for the future? I know you've been on a kind of a long hiatus, but what's
Yeah, I have since COVID and that all kicked in, didn't I? I've lost so much track of not making any music or playing computer games in the last 2 years, hardly at all. But I have made 2 songs this year. But they are actually one new one is on YouTube. You search it on my newest videos in the last couple of months, it'll be on that. But hopefully I'll start making more music on my Roland 707. I just need to get used to it much more because it's so much different than my Korgs to make music onto it.
There's been an idea that I've been kind of bouncing in my head a lot. I've been thinking about combining VTubing and like VR chat video making and presenting new music, like having an avatar singing a song. You think that would be super cringe, or what do you think?
No, I think it actually be quite good to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be quite good too because of VR chat, you also got so much lighting around you anyways. So you don't really need to do too much with lighting there.
Cool. I think that'd be that's an idea I'm bouncing in my head. I'm starting to experiment with VTubing and stuff like that. So I like that idea of just combining 2 different hobbies to make something magical and new. But obviously, I got Sibelius, and it's nobody. Let's just say nobody composes with Sibelius unless you're like, I don't know, trying to give sheet music to some people. But no, yeah, I'm very much. I got comfortable with the program at the start of college, and now I haven't left it. Like I think I purchased Ableton Live. I haven't even touched it. I'm just like, I like my Sibelius.
Yeah, I've never tried that really. Yeah, a DJ as well. So yeah,
I'm
DJ'd at two cons.
I'm very notation oriented, so I hate piano roll. I hate looking at a piano roll. It makes me cringe. I'm just like, where's my notation? Just let me put a few notes in, and that'll make it easier.
Yeah, my own music making on keyboards. I just make my own melodies up and stuff. I don't actually copy anybody else's. I just make my own tunes on it. So it's all just like fresh. Yeah.
Do you press a couple of keys and go, yeah, that's good enough for me?
Yep, indeed. Yep. Do any of you free DJ on any clubs or furry events?
Oh no, I've only just started playing my violin again, so I don't do any DJing. I just play the violin.
Yeah, the last
I've DJ'd at Furcation twice. So yeah, 2018, 2019.
I think
Do you bring a Furcation this year?
Yeah, it should be there. Hopefully,
I'll be there. So see you there.
I think
see it.
The last, I think, musical project that I remember doing is I made a musical that was presented at BLFC 4 years ago, and it's called The Dragon Within. It's on my YouTube channel, obviously, but yeah, you could tell I've been pretty much dormant for a while, but again, I love that idea of like making VTube into a vehicle to present new music. So that's what I'm going to try to do this year. Obviously it's not easy with all the responsibilities and adulting and all that crap, but you know how it is. You know how it is exactly, right?
Indeed. Yeah. Sorry, can I just plug something very quickly?
Please do.
Blue, are Are you in, when you went to Confuzzled at all, have you been in the group? It's called Invasion Furries of Music Volume 5. And they get all these different furry artists all on one CD. And I actually sold the CD at CF this year. And they sold out within the first day at the table, I think. And it's got 2 CDs worth of songs from all different furry artists on it. And I've been on it since 2008. If you look at the label,
I never got this one. I missed this one because it got sold out.
They probably do it again next year, so I'll send you the link if you want.
Yeah, can you give me the link as well? Can you give me the link as well?
Yeah, I've given it to Korg already, so you can share it around in a minute. And it's got all of the different. It's 5 different CDs on it so far.
All right, now that we're now, before I finish the interview, is there anything else you'd like to plug or talk about in regards to your musical influences?
I think I've gone through most of it. I think.
Very good. Okay.
1999.
I'm good as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
So now the one thing I really want to do is I want all of you to help improve and criticize my British accent that I'm going to do right now. Oh, Grommy, let's go get some crumpets and go and drink some tea on the loo.
Well, I'm going home now. See you later.
That sounds like that just made my cringer meter go off the chart.
But was it good? How could I improve it?
That's more like a horribly posh accent of the UK. Really.
Okay, so you're saying what you're saying is I did a accurate posh accent. Is that what you're saying? Because that's a high compliment.
No, actually, horribly.
So I did a horribly posh. So you're saying that I should just stop British accents for the rest of my life? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that brought me a smile. To be honest, I enjoyed that one. To be honest,
maybe that's what I'll do. I'll combine bad British impressions with VTube, and then we'll get a whole complete stereotypical insanity.
I want to see this.
Okay, this is right now. It's just visions in my head, so it'll be my job to try and stick this on my YouTube channel.
If you went into like a bar or a street or something in UK and just started speaking like that, I think everybody would just walk away from you. Even that, or you just get punched in the face.
He'd be stabbed. He'd be stabbed faster than he can even talk.
That sounds hilarious, and oh my goodness! Now I want to join. Now I want to go to England today. It's going to be so much fun.
At the moment, in the next couple of weeks, probably people. All the UK furs have been moaning about it's too hot, because at the moment in my room it's nearly 30 Celsius and it's supposed to be even hotter next week. So.
In my room it's 32, so I'm going to go outside. So I'm going to go outside on a walk to cool off a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go online in a minute and stop setting up my
next week. They said it was about, this is American terms, about 85 to 95 Fahrenheit, something like that. In that area.
Wow, that's serious. Yeah, we had a serious heat wave maybe about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah, no, everyone was melting. I went to my car, it was immediately 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it was nasty.
Whew. Yeah, that's too much.
30 C is 86 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, good for me not living in Spain, innit? When they had a couple of weeks back, they're 45 Celsius.
Yeah. The problem here, though, it's always humid here. You don't get the wet; you just get the stickiness.
That's the worst part about
it's the worst part about England. In America, you sweat. In the UK, you get really sticky. It just feels horrible.
You can't sleep, can you?
It's a sticky essence. Which which only happens when you live on an island.
No, it's only when we become furry.
Would any of you?
I'm a fox, so I know everything's sticky.
Would anyone be offended if I closed out the episode in my awful British accent?
Go ahead.
I need to disappear. I need to
go ahead.
In a minute.
Make the audience cringe.
Okay, thank you everybody from British land for joining my episode. Boris Johnson's a jerk, and let's finish this episode off. Thank you so much for everyone for joining the episode 50. Well, thank you all. Okay, I'm going to have some tea and crumpets on the loo. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, take care.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.